Good evening. I'm standing inside the entrance to Fort Owen in Southern California, where in a heavily guarded stockade, the most infamous war criminals in U.S. military history are confined. Their names are already familiar to us: Colonel John Hannibal Smith, Lieutenant Templeton Peck, and Sergeant B.A. Baracus, the legendary A-team of the Vietnam War. Former war heroes turned popular cult figures, they were finally captured after nearly 15 grueling years as fugitives running from their own government. They've been through a lot, but now the most difficult challenge ever faced by the A-team is about to begin: a military court-martial.
Gentlemen, I've never been one to mince words. And I have no intention of starting now. The government has had years to build a case against you. I don't believe you have much chance of winning.
Wait a minute, what do you mean we don't have much chance of winning? I thought you were a hot-shot criminal defense lawyer.
Given the overwhelming evidence, I'd much rather be prosecuting than defending you, Lieutenant. Unfortunately, that job's already been taken. As I told you, I don't mince words.
No, but your optimism more than makes up for it.
Mr. Curtis, how did you come to know the accused?
I met them in Vietnam while serving with the late Colonel Sam Morrison.
And how long were you with Colonel Morrison?
2 years, sir, until he was murdered in January of 1971.
Objection. The issue of murder is the ultimate legal issue before this court, to be determined by this honorable body, not by the witness.
Right. Check it out. My man Benny, all his friends call him Benny. He's gonna make mincemeat out of these bozos.
Your Honor, Colonel Morrison's body was exhumed from Arlington National Cemetery last week. I make an offer of proof to this court, and let the record reflect that I now submit the official pathology findings of the Army's Medical Corps Director. Colonel Morrison was murdered, shot twice at close range prior to the enemy shelling.
I pursued Colonel Smith and the A-team for 3 long years. I lost track of how many laws they broke and how much military property they destroyed. I can tell you this: rules mean nothing to these men, and they're loyal to no one but themselves. I have no doubt that they're capable of the crimes for which they're accused.
What a guy.
Colonel Decker, in those 3 long years that you pursued the A-team, were you ever aware of any civilians who were in trouble that they might have helped?
I was.
In your estimation, how many civilians who were in trouble did they help in those 3 years?
I wouldn't know.
Well, take a guess. A dozen, several dozen?
Several dozen, but that doesn't make it right.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Your Honor, it may be true that money alone was not enough of a motive for killing Colonel Morrison. Colonel Smith would have us believe there was no motive whatsoever for murdering a respected senior officer. Therefore, I would like to submit as rebuttal evidence at this time a significant new document which has only just now been declassified and come into my possession. It is secret congressional testimony on the U.S. conduct of the Vietnam conflict by one Colonel Chun Van Quiet of the North Vietnamese Army.
Objection. This 11th hour maneuver must be disallowed on the grounds that Colonel Quiet is not here for cross-examination.
Your Honor, in exchange for its valuable cooperation with post-war intelligence, the Army provided Colonel Quiet with a confidential new identity in this country.
While I know no precedents, I'll take the evidence under advisement.
You will note that on page 1174, Colonel Quiet has documented a list of 20 American soldiers who provided information to the North Vietnamese Army in exchange for money. At the top of that list, you will find the name of one Samuel Morrison, Colonel, United States Army. Colonel Smith, I submit that you, Lieutenant Peck, and Sergeant Baracus discovered that Morrison was working with the enemy. You acted as judge and jury. You took the law into your own hands and killed him in cold blood.
A table for 2, gentlemen?
Oh, we're here to see the man.
And what man are you referring to?
Colonel Chun Van Huet? I believe the United States government set him up in this restaurant.
I don't believe I'm familiar with him. Perhaps my co-workers are.
it! Come on!
Gentlemen, I trust you had a pleasant lunch.
I trust you have more on your mind than our happy tummies.
I'll be brief. We all know that what the Army wants out of this trial is an A-team conviction. But what I'm interested in here is justice. I think the panel can be convinced that Captain Murdock was operating on his own and in a questionable mental condition when he killed Colonel Morrison. Help me do that. Could save your lives.
Major, you can take your proposal.
Nice try, Major. But we've got this beat, and you know it.
Stop these proceedings! Stop the proceedings! Your Honor! We have located a very important witness, and I believe he can finally shed some light on this case.
Is that you, Captain Murdock?
Yes, it is, Your Honor. And if you'll bear with me, I believe we can finally establish some testimony here that will once and for all, and beyond a shadow of a doubt, prove that the A-team is innocent of all charges.
You may continue.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God?
I do.
What is your name, sir?
Chung Van Wet.
Are you not the same gentleman who gave a statement before the United States Congress in regard to Colonel Morrison's work for the Viet Cong?
I am.
I see. Would you give us your version of the famed mission on the National Bank of Hanoi, sir?
I was shocked when it happened.
But wait a minute, that's not what you told me.
We should have anticipated the A-team was capable of such a mission. I wish Colonel Morrison and I could have recruited them.
What do you mean by that, sir?
I have many times told Morrison we should make them an offer, but he always said no. He said they were loyal American patriots.
Loyal American patriots? Colonel Morrison, the man that these men were supposed to have killed, in fact, held the A-team in high regard?
No. He feared them. Colonel Morrison told me that if Smith and the A-team discovered he was an agent, they would not hesitate to kill him.
What do you think, General?
I think the A-team looks as guilty as hell. However, the guilty must pay for their crimes. They must have known the risks. Tell the pilot I'm ready.
Right away, sir.
Would the accused rise? What does the panel find?
Colonel Smith, Lieutenant Peck, Sergeant Baracus, it is my duty as president of this court to inform you that in closed session, upon secret ballot, all of the members present concur in finding you guilty as charged and sentencing you to be put to death.